Music intro? Yeah, I'll work on that. Go ahead and go on and comment. You can put any comments. Ooh, the last one's a good one too.
Warm it up. Wow. Okay, well, we'll be back next year. So close it would be all.
Yeah, exactly. I think we want to be a fellow with you, like this tan. I'm trying really hard not to. What else?
Go, Mr.
Can we all please stand for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Raise your right hand. Say, I am a peace builder. Repeat after me. I am a peace builder.
I am a peace builder.
I pledge to give up put down.
I pledge to give up put down.
I pledge to notice and speak up about hurts I have
I pledge to notice and speak up about hurts.
I pledge to right wrong.
I pledge to right wrongs.
I pledge to help others.
I pledge to help others.
I will build peace at home, at school, and in my community each day.
I will build peace at home and at school and in my community each day.
Please remain standing.
Please remain standing.
Triangle banner.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, Mr. Jones, we're going to see if this works, but this was our month to spotlight Bonita School. And what we wanted to do is show you the road to success is under construction. Mr. Jones has led a group of kids that are TV, Bonita TV, and we wanted to share that with all of you. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it works. Remember, it's under construction.
Yeah, this is just a new construction, right? The kids have been working on it the last few days, so. We're trying to fix the quality of it.
So far, so good.
You know how to get volume from
He's looking at it right now.
I feel like he's trying to touch it. Turn the volume on. That's good. There you go. Plug it in. Headphone jack. That button's for.
Good job.
Welcome to Bonita News TV. My name is Evie, and this is my co-host Victor.
Thank you, Evie. The big news of the week is that we are airing this new TV show. We are airing the TV show so that you will know what's going on throughout the week.
Let's go on to Andrew and see what the topic of sports is.
Thanks. My name is Andrew and welcome to Bonita Sports. The top story is the soccer field. Right now it looks a lot of dirt piles. The large dirt piles are fresh dirt. The holes in the dirt are for the sprinklers to water the new grass, and the grass seed will come soon. We'll have more updates next week in sports. For Bonita News TV, my name is Andrew. Back to the studio.
Okay, of course, Andrew. We have Jackie sharing the book of the week. Let's find out what the book is.
Thanks. My name is Jackie, and the book of the week is called The Babysitter's Club, Carter and Jenny. The book is about two sisters that don't get along. Will the sisters ever get along? Read this book and you'll find out. My name is Jackie. Back to you. Sounds like an awesome book to read. We'll be back after this message. Don't go.
Oh my goodness, Jackie, how did you do those push-ups?
Mommy, go. Welcome back and lucky to come by. It's our good friend Lucky the Bulldog.
Lucky is here to share with us the word of the week. Are you ready, Lucky? As you can see here, the word is respectful.
Those are an important words. When I get back to my classroom, I'm going to show my teacher.
That is a good idea. Don't forget the important days on campus. There's 8 kids on September 28th talking with their job about what they want to do with ASAP. Battle of the Books and Math Super Bowl starting on October 3rd.
Thank you again for joining us at Bonita News TV. My name is Evie and this is my co-host Victor. Don't forget to find us on YouTube. Our channel is called Bonita News TV. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.
Thank you very much. As you can see, we were under construction. We'll be doing that with our Road to Success at Bonita School. Thank you very much.
Ms. Jones, I want that new building.
You got to get those tips from good old Lucky.
Thank you. Item D, recognitions. Ms. White?
Good evening, board, students, staff, and parents. I'm very excited to be here tonight because we are recognizing a wonderful community partner that we have in this area that is dedicated to helping the students in Santa Maria as well as the entire Santa Barbara County and San Luis County, and that is Coast Hills Credit Union. And tonight we have with us Amanda Hollingworth and Andrea Hoffman, so if they could come up. And these are two representatives from Coast Hills, and Amanda is the Community Relations Officer, and Andrea is the Product Marketing Officer, and she's also a member of the Coast Hills Credit Union Community Action Committee. And I began working with these two ladies when I was looking for some funding for another project that I'm involved in called Shoes for Students, which raises money to help children that need shoes and clothes. And when I was talking to these representatives from Coast Hills Credit Union, we were talking about the need in Santa Maria as well as our neighboring communities. And they were very excited to be able to help in any way that they could and represent Coast Hills as well as its members. And so we began talking about things that all students need, no matter their age, no matter their school, no matter their location. And the one thing that we kept coming back to was backpacks. And so Coast Hills undertook this enormous project, and over the summer they actually donated 50 backpacks to every school district within their coverage area. So wherever there's a Coast Hills branch, the school districts in that area got 50 backpacks. And so of course we were one of the recipients of those backpacks, and I brought a few of them here with me tonight to show off because they were probably the nicest backpacks and the cutest that we've ever seen. So let me show a few of them. They're one of the really good brands, so that these backpacks last forever. And in addition, all the backpacks were stuffed with paper and pencils and crayons and pens and erasers and all the things that students need to be successful in school, all the tools that they need at home and in school to do their best. And so we just wanted to thank Coast Hills tonight, recognize them for their generous donation to our district, to our students. A lot of our counselors, outreach consultants, family advocates, homeless advocates come to me and say, we have a student that we're working with, or a family that we're working with, and the children need backpacks. And so these do go to children who otherwise don't have access to the backpacks or school supplies. And so if Amanda and Andrea would like to say a few words, we definitely want to thank them for their support.
It was important for us to choose backpacks that would last a long time. We didn't want something that might fall apart in a few months and the student was back in the position they were in the first place. So these are transports, which I've had mine since 1997, so pretty good. And they also have a warranty, so if something were to go wrong, hopefully that student would be able to not be out of the backpack. Another important thing is we wanted to make sure students were able to show their own vibrant spirit, possibly. You see here we have bananas, we have a little bit of camo, something for everyone, so they weren't stuck with just a generic backpack that you know that was supposed to look backpack. Instead, this is their backpack.
Next recognition is Allen Hancock College. I'd like to introduce Susan Hopkins from Hancock College. Actually, Mrs. Cordero was at a county school board's meeting back in June, I believe, and Susan came and presented on the Bulldog Bound program. She couldn't have picked a better board meeting to be presenting about Bulldog Bound because we got lots of kids here and parents, and we normally don't. And those Bonita Bulldogs were really showing off, so we got a direct connection to the Hancock Bulldogs. So I think it's Susan.
Thank you, Luke, and members of the board. I am Susan Houghton. I'm the Executive Director of College Advancement. Here on behalf of our President and Superintendent, Dr. Kevin Walters, and thank you for inviting me to come and share the good news that we have for your district. As Luke mentioned, Bulldog Bound is one of 4 of the Hancock Promise programs. I have a short little video I'd like to show you a little bit about Hancock Promise and Bulldog Bound. But I first want to congratulate you because last year, our first year of Bulldog Bound, we had over 2,000 students who participated, and approximately 30% of those students were your students. So congratulations on that, and let's take a look at a video that summarizes Bulldog Bound.
You gotta plug in that little thing.
Today we hosted 387 elementary school kids on our campus. What we hope to do is provide an experience with 5th and 6th graders and start the conversation about going to Allen Hancock College. We broke them down into 10 groups and we moved them across campus.
We decided to do a collective public pop-up art piece. So they all work together, all 200 kids that come through, creating this piece based on an artist called El Anatusi, who creates these huge, large-scale, diaphanous, beautiful wall hangings that are created out of recycled materials. Then each child gets to add however they like to this piece.
The brand instructor, Dr. Sean Gottlieb, he used liquid nitrogen and added water and created a great explosion that was representing honey clouds. What we want to do is we want to get them excited and we want them to understand what the Promise program is. The Path to Promise starts when they're in 9th grade, and it means that the first year is free at Allen Hancock College. We are working with our high school partners, but what we know is we have to start even earlier. And so for 5th and 6th grade, we've designed the Bulldog Bound experience.
So Bulldog Bound, obviously we're catching these kids at 5th and 6th grade so we can get them excited about keeping their grades up, keeping their sort of focus on getting to college, and also to know that we in our town have this amazing campus here with so many fantastic programs.
thankful to employ some of the Bonita newscasters for our announcement. I also have a really great short video, a short presentation that I'd like to show you. So Hancock Promise is really something unique for our area. There are many college promise programs throughout the entire state. But what is unique about the Hancock Promise is that we start very early. We're starting in the 5th and 6th grade to create a college-going culture. We are the only community college in the state that is starting as low as 5th grade and 4th grade to really teach students what it means to be going to college and what it means to be Bulldog Bound. You see in front of you 4 phases. The Path to Promise are our typical high school programs, our outreach programs that leverage and get students ready for high school. Then, of course, your first year free at AHC, that is the first year. And this year, thanks to the Promise, we've seen a 60% increase in our enrollment. We have 1,300 students from high schools going to Allen Hancock College, 60% increase. It's huge. We also believe very strongly that students need that extra hand on the second year. So we have what's called the Extended Promise, where we help them through whether it's a certificate graduation, whether it's a transfer, or whatever it is that they need to do. So a visit to campus, Bulldog Band, we saw an experience of that. Last year we had 20 schools. It is a targeted outreach, 2,000 attendees. I've shared with the board examples of what some of our classes are. STEM Dog, which obviously teaches you about STEM, culinary, we've got Bulldog Tasty Bites, Makerspace. Here's a full list of some of the things that our students are doing in 5th and 6th grade, totally experiential, being able to really understand what does it mean if you want to go into geology? What does it mean if you want to go into astrology? And here's how you can take a look. Wagon Weave, you just saw on the video. Geology Rocks, we're fortunate to be partnering with Era Energy as one of our partners, and they are presenting what it's like to be a geologist and what's inside of rocks and why you should care. For our oil industry here, it's a wonderful partnership. Bulldog Tasty Bites, you already saw. So then the second year is the focus on readiness, our high school programs. The Promise, what's important about the Promise, again, this is a $1,200 value, free tuition and fees for any student who graduates from a high school within our district. We do ask that they take 12 units. We do ask that they maintain a 2.0 GPA. You can come in with a lower GPA, of course, to community college, but we want you to take this seriously. And we want you to take those 12 units and complete math and English so you can get out of Allen Hancock College in just a few years and not be on the 6-year or 10-year plan. Then, of course, the 4th year is the focus and the completion and the next steps, where we get you on your way, whether it's a graduation, a job, or a transfer. We've been fortunate to partner with a lot of great entities, community organizations, and corporations in town. Here's just a list of some of the partners. And of course, we were thrilled earlier this year to get a $1 million pledge from Rabobank to put forward for the Hancock Promise. So how many students here are in 4th, 5th, or 6th grade? Yes. Okay. Well, you go back and ask your teachers if you can now come to Bulldog Bound. We have just sent out invitations to teachers in your school district. We want to see you there so that you guys can get your lanyard and start the Bulldog journey and be able to graduate with a college degree. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I want to thank you for your leadership, board, and helping Bulldog Bound be so successful. So thank you.
So, students that are, whatever grade you're in, who are here today, what she is telling you is that you will finish your elementary school education, then you'll go to junior high, then you'll spend 4 years at high school. You can decide right now that you are going to go on to college. And whether or not you have the financial ability to do that, assuming that all of this is sustainable, when you go to Hancock, they will pay your tuition and fees for the courses you take in your first year at Hancock and probably your second year. So other than buying your books, you can live at home. There are health services on the campus. 12 units still would give you enough time if you needed to have a little bit of a job. But that's an opportunity that is, it's silly to even think of not taking advantage of that. So you need to start thinking and believing that you can go to college. And college does not just mean reading assignments and turning in homework. Hancock offers opportunities for a wide variety of areas with different skills. If you wanted to work on automobiles, if you wanted to do something in healthcare, computer things, there are certificates and so forth that you could accomplish so that you can get a really good job and move forward in your life. So you need to put that in your brain right now. I am going to college. Because no matter what you end up doing, if you are going to have to be trained. So why not get that training and preparation for free?
Thank you. And one last thing that I forgot to mention is, how many of you all like football? Anybody like football? No one in this room likes football. Not one person watches pro football. Wow. Okay, well this Saturday, if you're going to be Bulldog bound and you're interested in this, you can get into the Hancock game free at 2 o'clock and get your own lanyard. So come on by and thank you, board. Congratulations to you and all students.
Yes, good evening, board. We are quite proud this evening to bring forth our students who received a perfect score on the SBAC test. Our students in grades last year's 3 through 8, and now the grades 4 through 9. Over 5 million students took this test last year in grades 3 to 8. Over 5 million. Not even 1% of all those 5 million had a perfect score. Not even 0.8% of the students had a perfect score. If I relate that same percentage to this room, there would be maybe 2 out of all the people here with masters and doctorates. There would be 2 that would have a perfect score if I related it to everyone in this room. But we don't have 2, we have 37 in Santa Maria. Proud of all of you great people. Para los padres, ustedes saben que estamos muy orgullosos de sus hijos y como ustedes están muy orgullosos de ellos también. So we're going to, and I know it's a long board meeting, we're going to call the students. I'm going to call you one at a time. Please stand when we call. Remain standing, and as I call the student's name, I'd like the parents, the support system for that child, the parents, teachers, and principal of that child to please stand also. And I'm going to introduce all of you. Feel free to clap. This is quite an accomplishment. The discipline that you have all shown through days and days of testing and learning is very, very commendable. So that after I call all of you, then you guys will sit. We're going to bring up one row at a time, or one of the rows at a time. School board, if you could then come down, shake hands. Parents are going to come up and take pictures of the group, one row at a time. Parents are very, very proud of the youngsters, as I know you are. So please, when I call your name, please stand, and parents and teachers and principals. Now, yeah, and once, let me bring them all up here. Okay, Brianna Giron Rodriguez. Bington. Brianna was from Liberty last year. Jordan Reed from Tunnel. Camilla Shahid from Alvin. Jesus Manriquez, Jimfield. Jesus Herrera Romero, Liberty. Miguel Martinez from Miller. Adriana Castillo Jaramillo from Rice. Stella Huang Nguyen from Battle. Hannah Pencrest from Battles. And Hannah had a perfect score in both math and literature. Sierra from Bonita. Jero Alcantara from Jimenez. Ariana Boteo, Rice. Mark Dolores from Fessler. Melissa Lua Duarte, Fessler. Serena Martinez Morales from Fessler. Jason Brashears, Tommy Coombs Junior High School. Ramon Cota, Tommy Coombs Junior High School. Mariposa Herrera, Tommy Coombs Junior High. April Ray Molina, Tommy Coombs Junior High. Deborah Rodriguez, Tommy Coombs. Luis Cabrera Escobedo, Ariana Junior High. Alegre from Fessler. Madeline Ramos from Fessler. Alvarez Avila from Tommy Coombs Junior High. Juan Gonzalez, Tommy Coombs Junior High School. Odessa Lori from El Camino. Also had perfect in both language arts and Haley Rodriguez, Fessler Junior High School. Kevin Beltran Monroy, Tommy Coombs Junior High. Camacho Zarate, Tommy Coombs. Kevin Ding from Tommy Coombs. Francisco Lozano, Tommy Coombs. Matthew Shingloff, Tommy Coombs. Also from Tommy Coombs, Esmeralda Ramirez. That aren't here. Did any of them come late by any chance? Okay, so please, everyone, one more big round of applause, please. Now you folks in the second and third row, please be seated. First row, please come forward. Okay. Now Now, some old parents, if you want to come forward, first go. Yeah, give me the bill. So, parents, if you want to come forward and take pictures, now's the time.
Hold your certificates out, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, hold your certificates out.
Everyone in the second row, please come forward. Bring your certificate.
Shoot away.
Is that?
Shoot away.
But they're not at the
Group 3. Yeah.
I have one kid who had both, and certificates out here, they didn't mention it.
Oh. Yeah, put your score in the book now.
This kid was like, he was hysterical. He never really talked to adults. This is brilliant.
That's awesome.
Love him for that.
She came through later in the morning. She was a little late.
Okay, great work, everyone. Right before we came in here, we had a dinner. First, I thank us, it was all donated. Central West Strawberry Side Distributing, Mina's Pizza, Bay Farms, and Domino's Pizza, all donated. So all of you and your families could have a meal, and they recognize the great accomplishments that you've all gone through. Please join me one more time. Okay, so that's it. For all of you, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the board meeting. You're all
not staying.
Mark, hey, Mark. Mark. You stand up to me and say, take a picture where you're okay, show me your ready? One more. Perfect, thank you guys. Congratulations. How's it going in
I understood a little. She wasn't incredible. Thank you, oh, nice, nice. Come on. I just want Ruby's going that way.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Many hats to you.
All right.
How are you? Oh my God.
I know, right?
I saw you. I don't remember. I was at night. I was at 19.
Yeah, he was born in 2000. So I've been
Yeah. Where are you at now? That's right. That's right.
You want to take an extra?
That's because you're taking him down there? Is Mom going too? Okay, I didn't see Mom.
Thank you.
I'm sure you had everything.
Good luck. Yeah. Oh, you're making family proud. Good for you. Yeah, you do. Good job. I'm very proud of you. I can tell. And your sister.
Never met basketball player. All right, I'm gonna go get my coat. So
Yeah, they need to get that email.
we'll get it to you. That's a real good.
Oh, yeah, Maximus.
Very good luck. Good job.
You staying for the rest? Oh. It just gets better from here.
I bet. That's what you get the big bucks for.
All right, there we go. Get out while you can. All right, buddy. Let's see.
School board meeting. Item C, calendar of upcoming meetings with activities and events. Special board meeting Wednesday, September 26th, 2018. Regular board meeting Wednesday, October 10th, 2018. Special board meeting Wednesday, October 24th, 2018. Item B, open session public comments. This section of the agenda is intended for members of the public to address the board on items involving the school district. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes each person and 15 minutes each topic. If an answer to a specific question is requested, the board president will, as appropriate, direct administration to respond in writing. To address the board, you are asked to fill out a request to speak form provided to the superintendent prior to this part of the agenda. We have one, Ms. Nancy Garza.
Good evening, board members. Public speaking, I'm not used to, so I'll take it short. I recently accepted a position of secretary too, which I'm happy about, thankful. However, it was a process on how I got it. Initially, it was going as a reclass over a year ago. With the support of my supervisor. Apparently it fell through the cracks. Something went up with Jack, maybe it was just, my understanding is under getting me down. However, I guess my concern is, again, just the whole process. This is one reason why I was in favor of a merit system for a change. I appreciate, again, this is not intended or directed to anybody in particular to blame. I appreciate the support of my supervisor and 2 prior supervisors. Again, it's just a process how it was handled. Having to go through the whole application process, initially being called in to test, the interview, all within a short timeline of about a week. And all this in the middle of an expulsion matter, which to me takes precedence. Again, this is just one of the reasons why I'm supporting the merit system. Change needs to be done, so nobody else has to go through this. I mean, after 21 years of doing the job and having to do this, it's a little grueling. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Item E, approval agenda is presented. And I'd like to recognize Dr. Grady on the change of the agenda.
Yes, I would like to pull item 412, the classified job description for the instructional assistant behavioral support assistant. This was approved in April of 2011 and should not have gone through the board packet tonight.
I'll move to approve the board agenda as amended.
I'll second that.
Ms. Cordero moved, Ms. Oliver second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda. I'll move to.
Move to, accept the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Mr. Halverson moved, Ms. Cordero second. Roll call?
Ms. Cordero?
Aye.
Mrs. Oliver?
Aye.
Mr. Holliday?
Aye.
Mrs. Swords?
Aye.
Mr. Lara?
Aye. Motion carries. Action item 110. Student discipline. John Rose, this is the action.
Yes, I make a motion the Board of Education adopt the stipulated expulsion agreement as presented in item 110 dated September 12th, 2018.
And I'll second that.
Ms. Flores moved, Ms. Cordero second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That the Board of Education approve the revised notes, oops, wrong one, sorry, excuse
There
me.
you go, right there.
That the Board of Education adopt the stipulated expulsion agreement as presented in item 110 dated September 12, 2018. Item 111, adoption of revised local control groups accountability plan. Mr. Rivera.
As you're aware, we've gone through this process of generating the local control and accountability plan for the 17, 18, 19 school years, which incorporates 18, 19, 19, 20 school years. As we've gone through that process, we adopted the local control and accountability plan on June 13th of 2018. The next step was to go to the county. The county sent back recommendations for technical revisions. Rebecca, Eric, and I went down and met with the county first week August. It was really issues around accounting, nothing with structure, the actions and services recognized in the plan. And so what I'm going to ask Rebecca just to provide an overview. I mean, we shared the content of the plan with you multiple times throughout the course of last year. So my first recommendation was that we read you the entire 292 pages. And Rebecca overruled my recommendation, and she has prepared an overview of the content, once again, recognizing the technical clarifications on there.
It's only 292 pages?
Is that?
It's about 300 now.
Oh.
I do it like a person.
I'm going to read the last chapter.
Good evening, board members. As Mr. Entrepreneur shared, this evening I will be sharing 3 items that the county office review focuses on, including adherence to the State Board of Education template, sufficient expenditures and budget to implement LCAP, and adherence to State Board of Education expenditure regulations, and 2 code clarifications that have been made within the LCAP, including LCFF supplemental expenditures specified in section 4 of the plan throughout goals 1 through 4 and within set list actions and services. And section 5, a complete description of how the district increases or improves services for unduplicated pupils by 37.28% over the base program. I'm going to start by reviewing quickly the sections of the LCAP plan. When we get to section 4 and 5, we will review the changes. As you are aware, section 1 is the plan summary. It includes our LCAP goals. Goal 1, provide effective district school-wide support systems, procedures, processes, materials, and practices that support student learning. Goal 2, develop and enhance programs and services that support English learners becoming proficient in all academic areas. Goal 3, maintain a safe, secure, healthy, positive learning environment for all students and staff. And goal 4, create a culture of respect and caring that supports positive budget. The number of schools and employees, details concerning our subgroups, and LCFF expenditures. The expenditures are what the county has asked us to review and make changes to. This in turn changes some of the actions and services within the plan. Section 2 is the annual update part of the plan. We will not be covering the annual update, being it is the expected outcome of the 2017-18 school year and the actual, what actually happened. It includes the material differences that is closely reviewed by the county, which is approved as written. Section 3 is a review of the stakeholder engagement, which we are well ahead of many districts in our stakeholder involvement. Section 4 includes the goals, actions, and services, and the expected annual measurable outcomes. We also have the actions and services posted on the website for easy review and access. I will be reviewing the actions and services and clarifying additions that were made, as well as why the changes were made. Section 5 is the demonstration of increased or improved services for unduplicated pupils. It includes the estimated supplemental expenditures and the percent of expenditures within the LCAP plan. Although this is in the back of the plan, it is a very important part of how districts must be transparent in the plan concerning increases and improvements for low-income, foster youth, and EL students versus increases and improvements that are school-wide or LEA-wide. And finally, the very end of the plan includes the budget and breakdown of the budget by object type and, most importantly, budget by goals. One of the clarifications that we were asked to make included an amount of our funding within the entire over $46 million that was not within the actions and services of our plan. Part of the over $10 million was included in actions and services in section 4, and other parts that were allocated prior to the LCAP. These were actions and services that are considered supplemental that were not written into the plan. When the county asked us to make these changes, Mr. Beecher, Mr. King, and I had already found a change in the LCAP format for this year, and we're steps ahead of the county on this. Brian King and I took the outline of how the budget would need to be broken down and created a spreadsheet outlining the amount of over $10 million. We listed the increased or improved services and did a lot of research concerning the history of the general fund actions and services that had grown in quality or quantity over the years that could be added to our plan. I'm going to review each specific change with you at this time. The budget is balanced to the penny. Brian King even found 49 cents that we had been missing. The first action and service that has been changed is 1.13 Fine Arts Program. The action and service is rewritten, but nothing taken out. Previously, the action and service included 4 additional band teachers, funds to purchase instruments and supplies, including art, music, and band supplies, and children's creative project, each for each site. When we did the research concerning the history of the general funds, actions and services that had grown in quality and quantity over the years, we found that 5 band music teachers met the criteria for increased or improved services. Therefore, band music teachers that prior to LCAP were at the junior highs have been added to action and service 1.13. This is what it actually looks like in the plan. You can see the addition is highlighted. I'll go back to that.
So do we have
4 or 5 band teachers?
So we have 9 total, 4 were in the LCAP plan, and then 5 were the ones that we brought into the plan. Okay. Any other questions on that one? For action and service 1.16, there are 3 things added. This action and service includes the LCAP office and many positions. This year we added the project clerks, and we will once again increase the project clerk funding from LCAP supporting the project clerk position from the 50% to almost 80%. The reason why? We are having to bring in the LCFF funding that is provided to Consolidated Projects Office. This is shown as number 15 on the spreadsheet. The positions will now be partially funded by LCAP. The third item brought into this action and service is the $1.2 million that we could not bring into the plan until after bargaining agreements were made. We anticipated the amount and have this in section 5 of the plan. The county asked us to bring it into an actual action and service. Remember, this is only the amount paid to those positions that are already in the plan. For example, intervention teachers, PE teachers, partial for project clerks, full-time computer technicians, full-time librarians, and many other supplemental positions that have been added over the years. This is what the action and service looks like now. Any questions on that one so far? Okay. For action 3.1, school safety and student support services, included the addition of 3 school resource officers, 1 certificated teacher for each junior high opportunity class, Fitzgerald Community School Services, student connection programs, and house soap tutors. When we did the research concerning the history of the general fund, actions and services that have grown in quality and quantity over the years, we found that assistant principals and deans increased and improved services. Therefore, these positions were added to action 3.1. Historically, prior to LCAP, assistant principals were shared between sites. Our sites did not have an assistant principal. Deans were provided as a certificated position at all junior highs, and this position was reclassified as management position. These were both examples of qualitative and quantitative growth, and 2 actions and services that were located in the general fund that have been moved into supplemental grant concentration funds. Assistant principals and deans are not required to run a school, therefore they are considered supplemental services. However, we all know the importance and the need for assistant principal and deans at our school sites to support students, and this is why they have been added into action 3.1. Any questions on that one? This is what it looks like actually in the plan. The next action and service that was rewritten is 3.3, junior high counselors and junior high MFT counselor hours. Previously, the action and service included only the addition of MFT junior high counselors at 250 hours per school site. When we did the research concerning the history of the general fund actions and services that had grown in quality and quantity over the years, we found that the school counselors who prepare and assist students to be successful lifelong learners and help students make informed decisions toward achieving their future goals should be moved from the general budget into action 3.3. And this is what it looks like. The county has asked that we bring in all LCFF funding, which would also include the LCFF allocation at each site. As a reminder, school sites will receive supplemental funds including Title I federal funds, LCFF state funds, and LCFF site LCAP state funds. The final change in the plan includes the addition of LCFF state funds in the LCAP. Although there are some similarities in this funding to the LCAP plans, these funds have not been included previously. These funds have been approved by the school site councils, ELAC members, and the school board. Each site has a CIPSA plan, single plan for student achievement, now has a GOBO infographic that provides the summary of their plan. The GOBOs were paid for by the district LCAP Parent Communication Action and Service in Goal 4 in order to communicate to our families our school plans. The school site allocations are allocated throughout all 4 goals in the actions and services 1.1, 1.19, 2.2, 3.13, 3.14, and 4.4. The next step includes the approved LCAP must be posted and updated, plans provided. Teams will continue to work on the implementation of modified and newly implemented actions and services. Sites and departments will continue to measure the effectiveness through progress monitoring, collecting information and data. And next Monday, this coming Monday on September 17th, our LCAP stakeholder collaboration meetings will resume again. We will continue by focusing on the learn and improve steps of the cycle. This includes analyzing, examining, and communicating data, and starting to think about making any further revisions to a few of our actions and services in the plan. This ends my presentation. It has included a lot of information. What questions might you have?
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I just want to commend Rebecca and Ryan, who really could track this. When we met the county, when I got here, the Santa Maria Committee, I met the county and really talked about the content. I was more concerned about the content. As you all know, our business services department is top drawer, not just countywide, statewide. There was no question that, and what the county had done, which I thought was a great idea, was there was this opportunity when LCFF first came in, that all these categorical resources that traditionally been part of a district function, get an opportunity to the minimum proportionality percentage, to just incorporate those services in, because they were ongoing. And the county had generated a term called qualitative service, right? And we had utilized that year to year, because a lot of these things have been approved previously.
Right.
They're part of that qualitative service as we move forward, to prevent an LCAP from becoming 300 and however many pages long. And so Brian and Matt and the county business office have been lockstep in tracking, other than that 49 cents. I was a little surprised. 49 cents. And so really I want to give Rebecca and Brian credit, because I got a little hot under the collar, and I pulled some Title V regulations and sent them to the county and said, I think you're interpreting this wrong, that they're much easier to deal with than I am. And they had already tracked all this information and had just seamlessly made the amendments that the county is going to require. It's going to give us a better footing moving forward. But I just have to state that thank goodness for Ryan and Rebecca, because I probably would have not been invited back to the county office.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll move to accept the revised local control accountability plan as presented in item 11, dated September 12, 2018.
That's second that.
Ms. Cordero moved, Ms. Oliver second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The Board of Education approved the revised local control accountability plan presented in item 11 dated September 12, 2018. Item 210, public hearing for Ohio Education Code Section 60119 and CCR Title 5 Section 9531, sufficiency of professional materials.
Yes, item 210, 211, those deal with sufficiency.
Public comment?
Oh, I'm sorry. You read it?
7-11.
Good evening. So, in accordance with Ed Code, we bring forth a resolution to certify that all students within the district have the required standard aligned instructional materials.
Let him close.
Yeah.
Oh, I went too far.
Yeah.
I read that.
No, no,
Okay, I was so excited.
so excited.
Well, I gotta close it.
Okay, there you go.
Now we're 211.
It's the first time I've done this, now.
Resolution
No,
1804.
it's just that we're always so overwhelmed with the number of people that rush forward during the public hearing section that we don't know what to do.
For a minute, you thought I was public comment.
I did for a minute, that's why I looked.
I was boring.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yes, yeah. Yes, all you.
I'm here to provide comedy tonight. So in accordance with Ed Code, we're bringing forth a resolution to certify that all students within the district have the required standard aligned instructional materials. At this time, all students do have the required core textbooks. Last Friday, we completed 16 site visitations and walkthroughs for our Williams audit, during which we passed the textbook inspection with 0 deficiencies. We'd like to make a huge thank you to the library district staff and the school library staff, as well as principals and teachers for making sure that all students have the materials they need in their hands. And so I would like to recommend that the Board of Education adopt this resolution as presented.
I'll move to adopt resolution 1804, compliance with education code 60119 and CCR Title 5, section 9531, sufficiency of instructional materials is presented.
Okay.
I'll second.
Mr. Holmes has moved. Ms. Cordero, second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero? Aye. Mrs. Oliver?
Aye.
Mr. Peter Hornsberg?
Aye.
Mrs. Ford?
Aye.
Mr. Laura?
Aye. Make the recommendation that the Board of Education adopt resolution 1804, dated September 12, 2018. Item 320, certification of the 2017-18 unaudited actuals. Teacher?
Thank you very much, Mr. Lara. Coming forward, Mr. Brian Payne will walk you through the unaudited actuals. You all get on a report over the weekend. It is a sizable report. We give you some condensed financial information to try and compress that into a few number of important pages, but it is coded with numbers. And Brian will walk you through and just kind of highlight the important parts of each of those documents.
Thank you, Mr. Beecher. Good evening, board. Tonight, I will be reviewing the 17-18 unaudited actuals, look at revenues, expenditures, ending fund balance, form CEA, last name enrollment. On this slide here, and the next, looking at revenue, and the next slide, expenditures, I would usually show 3 additional years out from 17-18, which would be 18-19, 19-20, and 20-21. But currently, there are a few variables that I kind of confidently use or predict right now, so I don't want to give some misleading information to the board. I don't feel comfortable projecting out revenue at this time. Mr. Beecher later this evening will talk more to this under the discussion item of enrollment facilities update. But looking at our revenues for the last couple of years, for 15-16 was 191.1, 16-17 was 199.7, and 17-18 came in at 207.3 million. On the expenditure side, for 15-16 we had 166.4, 16-17 186 million. And then 17-18 came in at 201.5. As usual, the certificated expenditures are the biggest piece of the graph here. And they continue to rise as a result of enrollment growth and staffing for that. Opening Jimenez Elementary School a few years ago, and the new LCAP, positions in LCAP, and then also negotiated salary increases. So the purple there, certificated salaries continues to increase as our expenditures grow. This slide looks at our general fund expenditures by function. So function represents the what or the activity or services performed. So the red is instruction, includes anything attached to the direct interaction of teachers and students. So it's teachers, assistants, equipment, technology. That represents 63% of our expenditures, which is roughly $127 million. Yellows are instruction related, which includes administrative, technical, and logistical support of instruction. That is 12.4% and represents about $25 million. Our people services include counselors, psychologists, health services, and transportation, which is 8%, that's about $16 million. Then we have our plant services, that's maintenance and operations, custodial, grounds utilities, basically kind of keep the lights on. And that is 8.8% or $17.7 million. We also have our general administrative expenditures, 3.6%, and other outgo, 4.3%. So this slide looks at analysis of our ending fund balance. So we did our estimated actuals, which was presented with the adopted budget back in May and June. We estimated ending fund balance of $37.2 million. Now we've completed our unaudited actuals. Our fund balance came in at $48.4 million. So that's an increase of our fund balance of $11.2 million. So when you compare that against our expenditures and expenditures and transfers out for the year of $206.8 million, that's about 5.4% variance, which is a standard acceptable variance. Last year is about 7.1%. So I kind of want to break down what makes up that $11.2 million. So we did have a revenue increase of $1.4 million. That's a combination of some of our federal revenue decreasing, but also our LCFF revenue increasing as a result of initial 1.488, but mainly as a result of the GSA revenue. So in our estimated actuals, there was no GSA revenue, but now with our unaudited actuals, there is the Great Sign Adjustment revenue in there as a result of the recent bargaining agreement. Also with LCAP, there's about $2 million from LCAP in there. So at our adoption last year for our LCAP, it was $39.3 million. So we basically, from when we had our adoption last year, we didn't spend about $2 million of that. And part of that is the kind of the usual things we've talked about before is a little bit of staffing, either hiring someone not at the end of the year or can't find someone for certain positions. And so there's kind of a laundry list of different things that make it to $2 million, like intervention teachers and coaches, $400,000, aid for second grade, $450,000. Common Core site mentors, that really didn't come to fruition. That was about $390,000. Also some professional development, about $70,000. And just to highlight on that piece, for 17-18, we needed to focus on spending our educator effectiveness grant dollars, which we had to spend by June 30th last year. And so expenditures were put into the educator effectiveness grant and less into the supplemental concentration grant dollars. But now for 18-19, we don't have that anymore. And so a lot of our professional development dollars will be, more of our professional development dollars will be coming out of the account. Next instruction materials, about $900,000. Restricted programs, $3.3 million. It's made up of Title I of about $700,000, Title III, $550,000, migrant, $300,000, and special ed about $1.6 million. I think special ed dollar, 1.6, that's actually a good thing. That means our expenditures were less. So the self-funding model, they gave us the final outcome, and so that was good. So the expenditures were less for the self-funding model. And then lastly, RRN, which is routine restricted maintenance, and our cost of $39 is $3.8 million. So routine restricted maintenance was $600,000, and the Prop 39, which is the Clean Energy Jobs Act, was about $3.2 million. That Prop 39 hopefully should go next year. The reason why is we have to spend those $3.2 million by the end of this year. And I know there's Scott and Mr. Beecher purchasing, there's a plan, and they're working through that right now to get those funds spent on clean energy. Looking at more at our fund balance, for the same reason on the revenue expenditures, where I didn't want to show those 3 out years, I don't feel comfortable showing the ending fund balance beyond 17-18. The reason why is you have the way you get your ending fund balance, you have your projected, you have your revenues plus expenditures, and that gets added to your starting fund balance. So for 16-17, it was at $47.9 million. That's made up of $8.4 million of reserve of restricted, excuse me. And for 17-18, came in at 48.3. You know, that is $7.7 million restricted. So for 17-18, this is what our actuals look like. Total revenue of $207.3 million. Expenditures of about $206.8 million. So we got a net increase in fund balance of $421,000. When you add that 421 to our beginning fund balance, you're left with the ending fund balance that we talked about of $48.4 million. That's made up of some non-spendable, $303,000, restricted, $7.7. We have our 3% reserve for economic uncertainty, $6.2 million. So you have a remaining unrestricted fund balance of almost $34.2 million. And our ending fund balance represents about 23.4%. So once again, minimum classroom expenditure, Form CEA. So state law requires elementary districts to spend 60% of their general fund budget on classroom-related expenditures. For 17-18, we came in at 59.26%. So we were close. We were about $1.3 million short. So once again, we are applying for a waiver with the county office. And waiver can be approved by the county based on having average teacher salaries that are above average compared to like districts. So down below is the backup that I would be supplying the county. So tomorrow morning I'll be sending that off. And I do want to highlight this is our 5th year in a row. We have not met this requirement of 60%. And it coincides with, it's the 5th year of the new funding formula from the state for LCFF. So this is an outdated formula, and the state just hasn't changed it. I do want to highlight we did invest over $12 million in LCAP expenditures on non-teacher salaries and classroom compensation. So that makes it even harder to get to that 60%. And in the last 4 years, the county has approved our request for exemption. So lastly, usually every another actuals do supply this slide here. Mr. Beach will talk to it further. I just wanted to put it up there. Our enrollment as of September 10th was 16,938. And 1 year ago, the enrollment was actually 17,109. So that's a difference of about 171. With that, I can answer any questions.
I do have a question about the minimum classroom expenditure. And you explained because of the amount of money invested to do the LCAP things. Does any of that include the people that are specifically paid for out of LCAP?
Yeah, that does help us. Yes, correct. So,
So that's not included
the-
in the piece of the pie that is for staffing or?
it is
It is?
under LCAP, yeah, the salaries we pay, are included in the percentage to get us to that 60%. But we do have other expenditures in the LCAP that are non-teacher salary, classroom related, like, we contract for outside services and stuff like that.
And Brian, do you remember when we went to that budget workshop last fall, the percentage of districts that don't meet that requirement now?
Of elementary school districts, it's hovering about 42-43% in the state. And it's gone up every year over the last 5 years.
It's just that because the funding models changed, that particular regulation didn't change with the funding.
So we have 171 students less this year. Interesting.
Matt will talk more about that later this evening.
I'll move to approve the 2017-18 unaudited actuals as presented in item 320 dated September 12th, 2018, and forward a positive certification to the county superintendent of schools.
Ms. Cordero moved, Ms. Oliver second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. That the Board of Education approve the 2017-18 unaudited actuals as presented above in item 320 dated September 12th, 2018. Item 321, resolution number 18-06, establish 2017-18 appropriations limited pursuant to Article 13B of the California, the California Constitution.
Great. So this is an annual housekeeping item. So 1979 began enacted Prop 4, which limits the growth of government spending, faster than the growth in population and inflation. This was later changed to be based on the change in per capita personal income. So each year, school districts are required to prepare GAN limit calculations by the state constitution and have the governing board adopt a resolution to identify the appropriations limit for the district. GAN limits only constrain appropriations from state and local tax sources, so federal aid is excluded. So in essence, the GAN limit, what it does is it's limited or control the local authority of districts to levy or increase taxes. But as a result of Prop 13, the power of districts to levy taxes is essentially taken away. These GAN limit calculations are automatically calculated in our SACS software, which is the software the state gives us. So it generates the numbers and spits it out. And so those are the numbers we use. So for the 17-18 actual appropriations limit calculation is $108,315,950. The estimate for 18-19 is $112,302,375. So for presented for your consideration and possible adoption of this resolution.
I'll move to adopt resolution number 18-6 to establish an appropriations limit for 2017-18 pursuant to Article 13B of the California Constitution as presented in item 321 dated September 12th, 2018.
I second.
Ms. Cordero moved, Ms. Flores second. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cordero? Aye. Mrs. Oliver?
Aye.
Mr. Hollingshead?
Aye.
Mrs. Flores?
Aye.
Mr. Lawrence?
Aye. Motion carries that the Board of Education adopt resolution number 1806 to establish appropriation limit for 2017-18 as presented in item 321 dated September 12th, 2018. Item 410, resolution of number 18-05, certification of teacher assignment. Ms. Grady.
Yes, board, each year, we're required to bring forward to you, to make sure that the teachers that are teaching in our classrooms from TK to 8 are certified to teach in the area that they are in. As you know, with the block schedule in junior high, we come upon sections of classes sometimes that we need an additional sections of science, and somebody on site may not have that credential. So we take a look at their transcripts and what classes they've had, and we can put them on what we call a waiver. And it's not in the same sense of a waiver to teach, because these people are fully credentialed individuals, but we're asking them to teach one section outside of their credential area. So what you have in front of you on the back page is we have 4 individuals this year, and they were all 3 junior highs and then a speech teacher who are asking for a waiver at this time to bring forward. So when we do get audited, we will show that we at least, we brought forward to the board that we were aware of 4 people right now teaching at least one section, one class outside of their credential area.
What are the assignments that these guys have that are outside their?
Heather, they're on the back of the page.
Well, what do they normally teach? Are those
Yeah, Mark is a math teacher. He has a math credential. Hamid is an English teacher teaching one section. He's computers and technology, teaching one section of math. And Morgan Williams is a science teacher, teaching one period of social science.
Motion?
Make a motion that the Board of Education approve resolution 1805, certification of teacher assignments as presented in item 410, dated September 12, 2018.
I'll second.
Ms. Flores moved, Ms. Cordero second. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cordero? Aye. Mrs. Oliver? Aye. Mr. Morningside? Aye. Mrs. Flores?
Aye.
Mr. Lamar?
Aye. The Board of Education approves resolution 1805, certification of teachers assignments as presented in item 410 dated September 12, 2018. Item 411, job description, teachers on special assignment, COSA, technology. Ms. Reagan?
Yes, this was an existing position. It's been quite a while since we've had somebody in this position. I believe, Mark, you helped with Brian Rickey at the same time and got together. I think Terry Cody, you were the last one in this assignment, I believe. I could be wrong. Anyway, we took a look at the existing job description and rewrote with the strike-throughs that we no longer need and the bold of areas that are needed at this time, and would like to, with the board approval, after the acceptance of this job description, bring on an additional COSA for the technology department. And it will be under the direction of Olivia, who is the Director of Curriculum Instruction.
Questions or comments? Motion?
All those Board of Education approve the certificate job description teacher on special assignment technology as presented in item 411.
I second.
Mr. Holmes has moved, Ms. Flores second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. The Board of Education approve the certificated job description, teacher on special assignment, COSA technologies presented in item 411 dated September 12, 2018. Item 220, review of board policy and administrative regulations. Mr. Mueller. Yes. Do you have a hard copy, Nicole?
I do have a
Can you
hard
just refer to the,
I do, I
Yeah,
have a
let's-
book, but it's in.
yeah, let's just do
Is
that.
that okay?
Everybody's got a copy.
All right, we'll just go ahead and, we're bringing forth the BPAR, dealing with physical education and activity. The BP, as you know, is what we do, and the AR is how we do it. This is mostly with the boilerplate language from CSBA with slight adjustments for our practice. If you look and, Ms. Wiseman is here to answer the questions on, and to address issues dealing with some of the nuts and bolts of the PE program. She's overseen elementary PE teachers past few years before they became full-time at the site. And this time then the principal oversees them at the site, but when they were itinerant, she oversaw them. She still hasn't met with them. So if you look at the VP 6142.7, this would be a new policy to us. But, anyone have any questions on any of on the beginning of that? I think if you want to go down to the fourth paragraph, the superintendent or designee shall ensure that the district program provides students with equal opportunities for instruction and participation regardless of gender in accordance with law. The next paragraph deals with students with disabilities. Students with disabilities shall be provided instruction in physical education in accordance with their individualized education program or section 504 accommodation plan. And then on the next page, during air pollution episodes, extreme weather or other employment conditions, physical education staff shall make appropriate adjustments to the program or shall seek alternative indoor space to enable students to participate in active physical education. This point was out, those are three important parts of the policy, but it's no change from what we have been doing. I'm going to, Ms. Wiseman, the name she wants to add right now about the BP over the AR.
I would just add that this is the good practice that we already do, and it's just putting the good practice into policy. One of the first pieces of the board policy though does talk about that the PE program should align with the PE standards. And so I think that, as well as the engagement of students in moderate to vigorous physical activity for 50% of each lesson. I just wanted to point out those two pieces.
So Nicole, are those kind of minimum standards, or this is just like the skeleton of it, we do maybe more than some of these things, or like with the testing, you know, I always ask you about the testing for only, wait until they're 5th and 7th grade, and you're like, gee, about those 2 years, are there things that go on earlier than that in their curriculum, or?
So we do, all of our sites are in compliance with 200 minutes of PE in elementary, starting with first grade. We do have, they do some type of PE. They have minutes for PE in kindergarten, even though it's not required by the state. And our elementary PE specialists, now that we've got on fourth grade, and we have some of them that are working with third grade, depending on if they have time. They are pre-testing and keeping data. We started that this year on 4th, 5th, 6th grade. That will be able to move up for our 7th and 8th grade teachers to track that data over long term. Our focus this year specifically for that type of data was looking at the mile run time, the curl up and the push up. And, but they're doing home and formative assessment along the way. For the elementary PE teachers, that's something that they've been very focused on, working as a team, looking at the data, drive their instruction and improve outcomes for our students. So I think my answer is yes.
Anything else on the BP? One thing I would add for the discussion piece, when you go to the bottom of the last page, at the bottom it says 11.7 and then 2.10 and 3.16. Those are adjustments. It looks like that's actually adjustments from our policy. That's the CSBA policy. We will delete that when we bring it forward. Those won't be at the bottom. That's just the CSBA policy. Next is the AR. And there's some definitions in here. And then we go into the minutes, which are ed code related, in grades 1 to 6. The students they have 200 minutes of PE each 10 school days. And then for students in grades 7 and 8 attending an elementary school, that would be a K-8. Whereas like Tunnel used to be a K-8, or Arizona Elementary was a K-8. Those students, 200 minutes every 10 days. The regulations are just like the elementary. For students in a middle school setting or a junior high, then it's 400 minutes each 10 school days. And that's what the ed code calls for. The ed code does not provide any leeway. That is the law. You must have 400 minutes every 10 days. CSBA recommends this next quote below at the bottom of page AR 6142.7. If the instructional minute requirements cannot be met during any 10-day period due to inclement weather, a school assembly, field trip, student assessment, or other circumstance, the school shall make up those minutes on another day in order to satisfy the instructional minute requirements. So they're saying you can't make it during those days. You had an assembly or conferences or some event came, then you make them up. That is an accepted way to address that issue, but it's not what the law says. The law is black and white. And this actually comes from a settlement that Donald Driscoll had. He brought a case against 37 elementary school districts and said none of you were providing the 200 minutes every 10 days. So in an agreement that they made with those districts, the agreement was that if you can't make the 200 minutes, then you'll make them up outside. So it is an accepted way to address that issue, and it is what CSBA legal staff recommends.
So how do you make that minutes in a junior high?
Well,
Or they're on a specific schedule?
yeah, it's a little more challenging. So, like in elementary, it wouldn't be as, it's not going to be easy, but if
Right, you have more flexibility.
they would take their homeroom class, and then they would, instead of math for 90 minutes, or that day, they're going to do an additional PE, is how they would do that. So in a junior high, let's say you had a longer than 40-minute period. So if you have you have 5 A's, okay, you have 5 every other day, A, B, A, B, A, B. That's pretty challenging on how you're going to make that up. You have to be outside the box, or everyone teaches PE, period 1, or something like that. But if you have a situation where you have more than those minutes, then you may be able to make that up.
And so is that in ed code?
No?
So do we have a choice about putting that in the policy?
It's recommended from CSBA, and it's a part of the settlement agreement with Donald Driscoll, who brought the lawsuit against the elementary districts of what was reasonable for making this law work. So the first judge that looked at this case, he threw it out. He said that it's very difficult for school districts to make this 200 minutes. The judge threw it out. So the second judge said, well, this really isn't a very good idea for the legislature to be micromanaging how school districts do their business. But the law does say this. So there hasn't been a third case go to a judge after this agreement was made with Donald Driscoll, the 37 different school districts, and CSBA is following along with that verbiage. It makes sense.
But again, that settlement was only relative to the 200 minutes in the elementary school, didn't apply to junior high.
Yes.
The 400 minutes is not subject to uniform complaint, but the 200 minutes is. So your question is really, if you go back to Mr. Gross's uniform complaint.
Exactly, that's right.
Yeah, we are not, because of the short minimum wage, where Memorial Day rotates into the leaves 10 days, we are not meeting 400 minutes.
Right.
And so you're absolutely right on how you make it up. There really isn't a way to do it with the schedule the way it is. If you had a 55-minute period every 10 days, or each 10 days, 550 minutes, you can cancel a PE twice. You have a snowstorm and keep everybody in the cafeteria, and, you know, if it's 2 days, you lose 110 minutes, you're still at 440 minutes within those 10 days.
Well, and it just seems, you know, it's like putting in place a rule or a law that you don't have any solution for. And saying it's up to the school site sounds pretty lousy to me. I'm sorry, I just think that's ridiculous.
But again, that's
I
only,
mean, I'm not
that's only,
opposed.
that is only applied to the elementary minutes.
Yeah. Right, but, I mean, if you're going to put in there,
And this is the purpose of the first reading.
Right.
If you prefer that language be stricken, this is the time to.
or it needs to be made clear, that last, sentence on the bottom, you know, to make up the instructional minutes, if you make it clear that that is only related to the 200-minute requirement, I can live with that. But if you include, you know, number 3, and our district does have a 7-8, and the requirement is 400 minutes, so.
But that becomes difficult only if they're on the block schedule.
Right, but, so what I'm saying is, you know, if they only have to have the 200 minutes every 10 school days, whether you're on a block schedule or not, you could accommodate that fairly easily. But if you put into place the 400-minute requirement on a junior high schedule, that's gonna look ugly. And a lot of teachers, and, I mean, what makes PE more important than social studies or math or fine arts, or, I mean, those are all requirements.
Yeah, but those don't, they don't cancel those classes.
No, I understand that.
Weather or anything like that, I think it's not that.
I realize that, but
Comparison there.
you don't cancel those classes, but they are impacted by those same things. The weather or not the weather, but assemblies or field trips or
Disaster drills or
things
fire drills.
such as that. There's not a process in place to make up minutes.
Well, let me address that. So let's say you did have a schedule where you might have had 2 weeks of conferences or whatever, when you have 38 minutes of shortened schedule, you wouldn't be making that up the following week when you go back to your regular schedule of 52 minutes. So that's how it kind of balances out. That's kind of how that works. You make up the time overall. We don't really have a choice of not including that though, because that is the ed code requirement. And you bring up a good point on the other subjects. They don't have any minute requirement, unfortunately. So there's no minute requirement on math or social studies or science. The only minute requirements are PE and what we have in our board policy for ELD. So the other subjects, we provide them, but it doesn't say in the ed code how much time you have to allocate to those subjects.
There's nothing in that code about ELD.
That's our board policy, that's 30 minutes. We must provide that, it doesn't say that it has to be 30, some districts have more. Ours says it's a minimum of 30 a day or a minimum of 60 if you're on regular day.
Just expressing my opinion.
Yes. That's not a unique opinion either, so thank you for sharing that. Any questions on that aspect of the minutes and how that's going to be, how we're recommending that we address? This is CSBA recommendation, it is the appropriate one. Most of the districts have gone with. I'm not sure if anyone hasn't gone with that verbiage. I'm going to turn it over to
I just would
want to point out that in addition to what Mr. Mueller pointed out regarding the definitions for PE that are required here in the minutes, it also identifies the PFT fitness round as the required state assessment for grades 5 and 7, and it outlines the testing window, which is February to May, and that students and the accommodations for students that need to be provided. We are required to test every student at 5th and 6th grade, regardless of any physical conditions that may limit their ability to take the assessment. Students with physical limitations take as much of the assessment as they're able to take, but we do try and make sure we test every student. Students are only excused from PE by the designee, the superintendent's designee. There has to be some kind of a written note or something and it's a temporary excuse, considered a temporary excuse. Any questions?
I still want to go back to the junior high school, 7th and 8th middle school, 400 minutes.
Yes.
We aren't doing that because we are on block schedule at one of our schools. And I thought we had a clearance or a letter stating that we are.
The state, the person who oversees PE said we are compliant
Okay.
with the expectation.
Okay.
Although we are 400 minutes every 10 days when there's a regular schedule. If there's any other, or actually that would be El Camino and Tommy Jones are 400 minutes every 10 days because they have sustained silent reading for 17 minutes or 18 minutes or give or take.
Right.
That. Arianas does not. So they have a little bit longer class periods. They have 85-minute periods. So they would be 420, give or take, every 10 days on a regular schedule. But it's just when there's a shortened day, minimum day conferences, something along those lines, we wouldn't meet the 400. But the state said that's okay, that you're meeting the intent of the law.
So just by stating it here, we're not, are we going to get in trouble when it's in our policy?
No, this is the absolute, this is the law, this is, whether we have this policy or not, this is the end of we have to follow.
Okay,
So
and that's what we've been doing.
Exactly.
So we haven't had, right.
So this was already in place, during the informed complaint, when it went to the department.
Right.
Said, no, you're okay. People who oversee the minutes. Because it was just those small, short portions of those contracted meetings.
Okay.
So, tell me, because I'm not familiar with what the minute schedule is at Fessler. They're the only junior high that is off a block schedule. How many minutes are each of their periods?
So they would have 6 52-minute periods, plus some of the students take like a 0 period, you know. So they have 6 52-minute periods. Every subject meets every day, except for math. They have a double period in math for some of the students, like take algebra, so they have 104 minutes. But those students are going to have 52 minutes of PE in a regular week. So they're going to have
260 minutes a week.
exactly 260.
So those disruptions probably wouldn't affect the 400 then.
No.
Exactly.
Right. And the following week, if they do minimum days, they'll have maybe 38. So they're going to have 190 that week. So they would have a 260, 190. They're going to be about 450. They should be okay. If for whatever reason, inclement weather, they didn't have PE, or they took a day-long field trip, and they were under the 400 in those 10 days, they would then make it up the following week. That's how that makeup would work once they start back into those 52 days again, or 52 minutes again. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So they're over 400 minutes.
I
think AP should also share, just so that you're aware, because I hear you asking the question about the outcome. And that was taken care of, but since that time, at the beginning of, the middle of August, we were contacted and we will be, and we are currently going through an FPM audit for PE. So federal program monitoring audit for PE. So they will come in and they will audit our instructional minutes. We're providing, so it's much like the FPM audit that Dr. Hosky goes through for instructional materials and services. So we are providing minutes, PE schedules for all of our 1st through 6th grade teachers, how PE is done, as well as our master schedules for junior high. And just like a regular, the other FPM audits we go through, the state will come out and visit. And so they are scheduled to come out October 2nd and 3rd, I think. And they will do school site visitations. And so they have chosen to visit Fairlawn, El Camino, and Tony Pins. And so we'll keep you updated as we know more information with that process.
Okay, any more, or any other questions on this?
I acknowledge the review of the board policies and administrative regulations as presented in item 220 dated September 12, 2018, and request the administration review this item back for action at the next regular board meeting. Item 330 is discussion of workers' compensation, unfunded liability. Mr. Beecher.
I thought my item was next, but Brian's going to have a workers' compensation one.
Good evening. So the Ed Code requires districts who are self-insured for workers' compensation claims to annually disclose in a public meeting the estimated accrued but unfunded liability for these claims. This one slide is a recap of our reserve and net position for the district. This comes from the financial statements from the Joint Powers Santa Barbara County Self-Insurance Program for Employees. So the two important numbers there are the liability incurred but not reported. They're in the red of almost $1.7 million. Liability incurred but not reported is made up of claims, bills not received yet, and injury claims not yet known. And in yellow areas are our reserves, over $2.3 million. And that is a health reserve that we have. And so this information shows that the district does not have an accrued and unfunded liability for workers' compensation claims. Therefore, the district is not required to make reservations in its fund balance. So if we did not have a reserve, then we would have an action item in future years we needed to set aside funds.
I acknowledge the receipt of the annual workers' compensation claim information as presented in item 330 dated September 12, 2018. 331, enrollment and facilities update. Mr. Beecher.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lara. It's my third attempt to get over, fourth attempt to get over the podium and be useful. And I have not yet successfully done getting up here.
But your effort has not gone unnoticed.
Thank you, Ms. Cordero. This is a pretty important topic to share with the board tonight. I do have some slides to share with you. I do have presentations if you want to take some notes. There are quite a few numbers that I'll be sharing with you. If you don't like numbers as much as I do, you may not find this as exciting as I, but I'm going to try and walk you through a lot numbers and just tell a brief story about each of them as far as how I think they're going to impact the district and kind of guide the work that we do for the next couple of years. But this presentation isn't just about enrollment, it's also to give you an update on where we are with the Measure T school and how the enrollment decline, as Eric mentioned earlier tonight, and Mr. Dean did, impact our planning for that new school. So we did receive approval for the school site and the design and the plan behind that design for the new school from the California Department of Education. We have submitted our plans to the Division of State Architect. We have, you can see there, scheduled back check meeting, fire life safety, September 24th. Accessibility with the DSA consultant October 3rd. Structural with the DSA consultant on October 8th, potentially through the 10th. And then the final back check on October 19th at the DSA offices for structural. So those are the meetings that we'll be going to, our consultants will be going to. Scott or I may be attending a couple of these meetings just to have a district presence. We've heard that it helps set the tone and control the mood of those meetings. I don't know who we're trying to manage, if it's our professional or for CSA, but I've heard that districts can be a positive influence over the process. So Scotty and I have been in communication about how to make that happen. Mike Rogan put together a bunch of information related to our Office of Public School Construction application for funding. So the application has been completed. Patty Ashton from the DLR group, who is their funding and entitlement specialist, put some time in her day to review that application and gave us some very helpful pointers to bring in a few more dollars and to limit a few questions that might come from the OPSC. So it's been reviewed, and earlier this week, I put all of the pieces together and set them aside, awaiting DSA approval, which we would hope would come shortly after October the 19th. Because, I've described before, it's kind of a relay race with every other district in the state with construction projects, right? Where we're going to get one shot to turn in our application and get it into potentially get funded with Prop 51. I don't know that our chances are that good. And I would say for probably like the last 4 or 5 months, I haven't thought that our chances are that good to get funding for the Measure T school from the state with Prop 51. But that doesn't mean that we took our foot off the gas in this process. And all along, we've been applying pressure to our architects, to our team here in the district to make sure that if there is a chance, that we are in the best position to take advantage of it. So that folder is on my desk. It's about 2 inches thick. I'm waiting for one piece of paper to slip in there, and I need me to sign the application, and our architect to sign it twice. We'll write the DSA letter date, and then we're going to FedEx that package off to the Office of Public School Construction. So that'll take us probably 36 hours to make all that happen as soon as we get approval after the 19th. And we just hope that we can get on the list and potentially make it to get some funding. So that's kind of Measure T school status. I want to talk about enrollment next. In March of this year, we shared this as part of our second interim, that we had seen a longer, sustained drop in enrollment post-CBEDS than we had seen before. You can kind of see that from this chart that I shared with you at that time, that it stayed down, went down further and sharper. I shared with you another chart that kind of shows a percentage of enrollment, because each of those years is a different group of kids. But as a percentage, you can kind of compare apples and apples. You can see they all cross and intersect at CBEDS. And that purple line drops further as a percent and steeper and never recovers like the other percentages did. Okay? So that was information we shared at that time. Just trying to keep the board informed on some of the things we were seeing. And then here is the pupil generation, or I'm sorry, this is the kinder registration tracking that we do. where school sites report the number of kinders they've registered or rolled from the prior year. And accumulated in this chart, and similar to the last chart, I roll it forward based on enrollments from the prior year. And our early registration in March looked light in kindergarten. It looked like it was going to be lower than prior years, and certainly lower than our projected staff. So there were a couple of early warning signs that were out there, leading to enrollment from Monday, which showed 16,938 students, quite a bit lower than the prior year. Since you came in, said about 107 students, and a lot lower than we had projected using the same demographic consultant we used for a while. You can see on this chart, what I've got is the blue line is actual enrollments, and the red line is the enrollment as it was projected the year prior. Okay? So that same red line that I had for the staffing projection on the prior chart, that is the enrollment projection from the prior year. Okay? You can see from 2012-13 through 2015-16, they're pretty close. I mean, our projections were pretty tight. In 16-17, there was a little bit of a separation, but our enrollment continued to grow. And then they kind of came back together in 17-18. This is the first time that there has been as big a separation from our projections to our actuals, and obviously the very first time in my memory in the district that we've actually declined in enrollment. When I was first hired in 2005, we had a year where we started the school year lower than we had ended the school year, and we grew by the end of the first 2 weeks of school to surpass that number. But it was a scare. Right? Everybody went, wow, what just happened? We were kind of a little bit flat for a couple of years, and then we started with the 9-year growth we've been talking about for 9 years now. But this is the first time we've seen an enrollment decline like this. So I've been trying to think about how best to present the board with information that is a little more detailed about what all of these numbers mean by school and grade. And this isn't the way I decided to do it. Originally it was just one big long table with all the schools next to each other. The important thing on this page is across the bottom, and this is the variance from our enrollment projection, okay? So this is just how much we missed the mark by, based on our history. So the big miss is kindergarten or kindergarten/TK. They're kind of the same calculation, and there's 3 months in TK, and then there's 12 months in kinder, so you're kind of on one side of the fence or you're not. The calculations aren't necessarily concrete. They kind of blend those together. But you can see in most grades, compared to our projection, we're low, missing by about 340 on here. And I just wanted to share that same data table, but just by cluster. So in the Fessler cluster overall, we missed by 114. And there's a cross-section of grades, and there's a couple of pockets where there's growth. In the Arians cluster, we're down by about 60. But on this chart, you can see Jimenez grew. And you can't connect that growth just to the attraction of the dual language program. They grew in more than just that grade, where the dual language program started in 3rd grade this year. Right? Moved up to 3rd grade this year. There are other grades of growth. Another thing I should explain to you, inside these charts, you can see there are red and green boxes. The green boxes that are not in the total columns are those that increased by 10 or more. The red boxes decreased by 10 or more. And then in the total columns, in the total row, I used 20 or more. Okay? So that there was a way to draw your eyes to the ones that changed by the most. So this is the El Camino cluster, one of the larger declines compared to projection. And the Tommy Cruz cluster. economic units itself grew compared to the projection. But more important, now that we're not in growth, it used to be that getting close to our projections in a growth environment is really important, right? But in a declining enrollment environment, the variance from the prior year is what we need to measure. Because in one of the reasons that Mr. King did not present the board with projected years, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21, what he told you was that he would be uncomfortable sharing with that with you. And the reason is that there's part of the calculation of LCFF contains a safe harbor rule, where when you decline enrollment, you use the 88 from the prior year to calculate this year's revenues, essentially giving you an insurance policy of 1 year to make the reductions you need to. So you can at least count on the same revenues that you had the prior year. But if Brian was going to go in and crack open that calculation and then try and roll it through each of the years, that would get a little bit hairy in the time frame that we had. And I'd rather have had him focus on getting an LCAP piece buttoned up, getting unaudited actuals and closed put together, some of those other tasks. And then once we finish with our financial statement auditors, then we'll focus on the first interim and really getting a hard look at what those projections, what 18, 19, 19, 20, 21 will look like. So what this line across the bottom shows is that compared to last year's actual CBEDS numbers, most of our grades declined. Third grade has a bubble passing through it. You can see 133 more students in third grade this year compared to last year. And if you looked at the same chart for last year's data, second grade had like 150 more students than it had the prior year. So there's a little bubble moving up. It's in third grade this year. But each of the grades, most of the grades, declined by more than 20 across the district. So again, just to give you a look at the clusters, the Fessler cluster is down by about 44. They grew in 7th grade. They dropped a little bit in 8th grade in Fessler itself. But you can see those other schools are going to be bringing a mixed bag, right, to Fessler in the future, where a lot of the numbers are declining, but it's kind of a hit and miss with Miller growing overall. So they're in this cluster, they're going to decline, but it's more of an even distribution over the time being presented here. In the Arianes cluster, Sanchez shows a large decline, but not the largest decline between years. And again, as I shared with you, not only they increased more than their projection, they increased by 70 over last year.
So did all of this result in any movement for teachers because of enrollment?
Most of the movement that I've been hearing about from Dr. Grady is related to some of those tight spots where we actually have growth within grades. Dr. Grady would have to comment more on the teacher movement.
Right now, we're in the process, just starting today, of a possible kinder movement. Jimenez needs another kinder teacher. So, but other than that, I haven't really made contact with individuals other than school principals. I was at 3 elementaries today talking just about that.
And we moved some programs around. Was it 2 classes off, 2 special education classes off the Jimenez campus?
True, we moved two special education classes from Jimenez to Robert Bruce in anticipation of this growth.
So the space, it's just, when I'm looking at Christina and that number at Adams, it was like 37 kids. It doesn't feel like it, does it?
Not at all. I have 30.
Is there any correlation, like, that when you look at these clusters to their areas being, say, more stable as far as the homes already being there, so say you're out at Liberty and then there's more development and stuff, are those the places where there might be more growth or less decline?
You know,
Any kind of correlation to that?
You know, when I look at that, Jimenez grew, and they had a lot of construction right around their school site. And Liberty's right across the street, and they're down large in some grades, up in second. So it's hard to really put your finger on just that piece. But you can see, like Sanchez, that's an alarming decrease across almost every grade, right? And then just some pockets of growth. But Fairlawn, same thing. And I don't know, again, Mr. Holland said your question, anecdotally, I could probably come up with a couple things. Right? Say it might do that, it might do that, but until we get information that either shows that these students take their statewide student identifier to another district, so we can say, hey, they went here, they stayed in the state, it's really hard to know exactly what's going on in each of these. So in this cluster, you can see they're down overall. A lot in upper grades, but they're probably declining in the future in this cluster. And then here we have the largest decline from last year, 111 across the cluster. JPO declining in almost every grade level except third. Here as well. So another thing, a lot of this decline, looking again at the strip of numbers across the bottom, is in kindergarten. Which, if that is going to remain, where next year the same number of kinders enroll as last year, then that decline that's shown there at 150 will move through each of the grade levels. Right? So it's 300 next year, 450 the next year. By the time, if that's the new pattern, by the time it makes its way through the district, we're a different district in 9 years. Right? With almost 100, 150 fewer students, it remains consistent throughout that time. Right? So that can be very significant. Now, we don't have great information today about how that's going to look over the long haul, but I still want to make sure that I make you aware of that.
Well, we should be able to tell how many students are leaving the district because of requests for records.
Correct.
So that would be something I would be interested in seeing.
And that takes any time.
Yeah, once everyone settles.
Well, and those requests may not have even arrived yet.
Right.
Exactly. And the requests aren't necessarily logged. I don't believe Matt in areas like where the requests are coming from. I think it's all like handled in the superintendent's office or someone who's pushing huge around when those requests come in. So it's not necessarily already processes that we're tracking.
This is really interesting. Looking at the numbers when I got down, looking at it like this, very telling.
Well, it's interesting that, in the past, our projections have in large part been based on births. And that trajectory has been, the percentage of students that end up in our schools has been pretty consistent, so.
So in 2017-18, about 76% of growths in our zip code came to Santa Maria Community School Districts, regardless 5 years later. This year, that number's about 70.5% to 71%. And that's 125 students.
Yeah, and I'm just taking a wild guess that birth rates in the city have not declined. I don't have anything to base that on other than, my instinct or my
Observation.
They haven't changed by that much, but by those numbers. I can tell you that. I mean, I have that information from our consultant. And so the numbers go as high as maybe 2,500. And they're at like 2,300 right now or 400. that's essentially the same number. Right? It's not very different. But yeah, it is certainly interesting information, so I want to make sure and share it with you.
Make sure Mike Berlin gets on that.
You know, he doesn't have the same inside source he used to when it comes to births, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you look at that, you look at JPO, that's 2 teachers right there, that's 60 kids.
Mhm.
And you just kind of look at it in different ways, and it's like, I hate that.
Well, yeah, and when you think about it, from the standpoint of, we had expected and staffed for 338 more students than are in schools today. That's a bigger number than just looking at the actual variance from last year.
Yeah.
So just to give you an idea of what the implications are, after the 1-year safe harbor on LCFF calculations, next year LCFF revenue amount will take a hit of between 2 and 3 million. That's my rough calculation. Mr. King will probably find more than 49 cents wrong with that calculation. And I'm not giving you a breakdown between supplemental and concentration grant and base. Right? There is going to be a sizable use of our resources, and obviously our federal programs many are also driven by enrollment numbers, so those will also decline. Our eligibility for state match will change. So until CBEDS gets certified in November/December, whenever that occurs, we'll be using our current eligibility calculations and CBED 17,122 from last year. So we'll keep the same eligibility we had for the last year or so. And I think that will get us through Quistapache and Tommy King's, because we're about 32 projects deep on the workload list, which in my mind tells me I should be getting a call from the OTSC for those 2 projects to finish our application process there and potentially get moved from the workload list to the lack of funds list, which is a great upgrade.
I'm assuming by Quistapache, you mean Jimenez.
I assume Jimenez, yes, but when we applied for it, it was still called.
Yeah.
Taylor and Liberty, I think, will be too far behind, and we'll probably have to update our eligibility numbers with the December CBEDS for that, and we'll have to take a look at whether or not we continue to have the same eligibility. In my mind, we do, because I know we've put a lot of students into our classrooms that the state hasn't provided a match for yet. My feeling is they still owe us, right? But that's not always the way the state sets the rules when it comes to how they allocate funds. And because our biggest decline is in kinder, as I described for you earlier, that has a major impact on your eligibility because they roll that number forward to come at your actual need and eligibility. So it applies to multiple years and declining that year. So again, just to make a statement, declining revenues along with incremental increases in costs like pensions may require well-made decisions about reducing budgets and reconfiguring services. We end up, again, reshaping the district by 1,000 or 1,500 students. There's going to be a lot of choices that need to be made and made well. Mr. King presented to you the unaudited actual. There is a sizable reserve, right? It's going to give us a lot of time to make those choices, but they have to be made. Right? That's the trend that holds. They have to be made. So. I think the big question that people will want to ask and get answered is if enrollments are declining, will we still be members in school? And in my mind, the answer is going to be yes. In 2016-17, the average elementary school enrollment in Santa Barbara County, excluding our schools, right? We're an unfair impact on that calculation, was 420 compared to our average in that year of 846. Currently, the elementary school average is 830. So we're still just about twice the size in an elementary school compared to the rest of the county. So in my mind, we still need more schools to reduce that school size. And we need to build an MT school still, even though we're declining enrollment. I would imagine people are gonna ask that question. If you're declining by 150 this year, you're declining by 1,500 students, you're still gonna be much larger as an average elementary school size compared to other districts, and we need to do things to address that. So, you may get asked that question as this word gets out. My mind, the answer is yes, sure. If I'm agreeing with that. Dr. Reed's favorite slide, are there any questions?
I know a lot of the surrounding districts are similar.
Are other districts to the area experiencing the same types of things?
I think there are some. I think it works down a little bit compared to their projection, but they're pretty stable. The high school district is starting to receive the influx of students who have made their way through our 9 grades. So they're not seeing this. I think potentially it could be hidden in their ranks, but they just received another 280 more students in 9th grade this year, just from our growth. And we'll see that over the next couple of years. I think that's something like that. You don't see that. Yeah, it'll be diluted. I mean, it'll be hidden within that growth coming from us. And I'm not sure about our neighbors to the north.
I think for the past several years, based on conversation at the County School Board Association meeting, we were the only district with increasing everybody else's.
That's right.
Yeah.
Join the ranks now. Yeah. Join the ranks.
I acknowledge discussions of enrollment and facility update presented in item 331 dated September 12, 2018. Report out.
I do. I've been at a couple of sites. I was at Alvin one day last week where they were doing some cost planning, which has to do with coordinating services for students. It was very interesting, and a lot of really thoughtful questions came from it that superficially might have seemed to have a simple answer, but not really. So it was very interesting to see the interaction and sit in on that. I also attended a PBIS session with several of the schools, so I have a much better understanding of what that really is and, what is required with that. And as we all know, we have 2 seats open on our school board, but traditionally, the School Board Association in the county puts on a little workshop for any candidates throughout the county who are running to be on the school board. And for this was my 3rd time participating in that. And my goodness, the first time I think we maybe had a dozen people that came. And then 2 years ago, it was slim pickings. It was like,
There weren't a lot of us there.
what are we doing this? And Monday night, oh my gosh, there were more than 30 people there.
Really?
Oh, it was very interesting, and just very interesting.
And so if I could interrupt for a second, is Mr. Michaels still here? Gary Michaels, oh, I'm sorry, Gary Michaels, who is one of our board candidates, was here at the board meeting tonight. I was getting introduced to him in my comments, but.
Not too late for him. So anyway, a lot of things, happening in the county and a lot of good things here, right here in little old San Maria.
Yeah. I did attend the ACES training. There were a lot of new employees, to the ACES program, and went through it, they were all stuffed in that room, and the one I did attend and stayed the longest for was the attendance and how it's all gone, computer, where parents sign on the computer and they have to sign on the other, and some of the STEM training, and they have a lot to do. They have an awful lot to do. They're still learning also, but that was very interesting. Very interesting. Because they all have to know everything, because they do have a coordinator in each side. But they all of the individuals that are working in the ACES program have to know all of the avenues of that. And many of them are, very young, just in college, and a couple former students are in there, so it's good to see them. I was tired after that.
I forgot to mention, and Maggie's still sitting there, that I was the lucky winner of the Shoes for Students raffle.
Where'd you win it
This year, I won $2,000 worth of gas cards.
Wow.
Cool. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you're driving for now.
Yes.
That was a great tournament that you put on, very well received.
Thank you.
Well, I bought tickets for a number of years, so I think probably I may not quite have paid for the whole amount, but.
Congratulations.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Muller for putting together such a great event this evening for the families and the kids. What a great way to start the year. But as Ann McDaniel started, believe it or not, Ann had a criticism that some of the kids from Festival, who were announced for Festival, earned the score of Alpha. She wanted to make sure I knew that.
Of course she would make sure you know that.
And doesn't often hold back. I want to recognize Nicole and Scott and Tony and Richard and James, all these Williams visits the last couple of weeks. I mean, that's
a bear.
Is that a labor of love or a labor of teeth grinding, right?
It's a labor of love.
Yeah. That's particularly this time of year. I mean, that's a hard thing to get through when we're just trying to get things started. They all came off great. And then just want to remind the board, 2 weeks from tonight, right at 5 o'clock, we're going to do a board study session. You should have received an email with your login to the board self-evaluation. You have until the 25th to complete it. I met with Mrs. Albert yesterday. I'm going to come over one afternoon, bring a computer. We're going to do it online. It will actually generate the report that we'll use to conduct that board self-evaluation as the study session itself.
Did I misunderstand it? I thought they were delivering the information on the 25th.
The window's open.
Oh, okay, then I didn't read it. All right, so I can go and do it now.
You can do it now. It opened yesterday was the day, right? Yeah. I wanted to give you the time, so if you get back in, you had questions. So
Got it.
To go through that.
I appreciate that clarification, because I would have just done it on the 25th.
Feel free to.
Do it now, I'll do it now.
Okay. That's all we got.
And with that, we adjourn. Thank you all for staying. Have a good evening and a good rest of the week.
Thank you, Katie.
Do you guys, anything on the job description? We don't get involved in job descriptions, no. Yeah, it's, which one's the, oh, there it is. I'm glad they brought back the